Namaste students, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN's Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jayoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. So today we are here to discuss the topic that is separation of cells and other insolubles from fermented broth. So this topic comes under the subject upstream and downstream process. And in the previous lectures, we have taken the idea about the bioseparation. So bioseparation is the process of the uh, separation of bioproducts, biological products. Okay, so that is the same thing we will discuss here: the separation of cells and the other insolubles from the fermented broth. Fermented broth means the media where you are growing the microbes or microbial cells or the animal or plant cells for the production of a specific product. So how to separate after the completion of the process, completion of the incubation time, how to separate the cells, the host cells, or the insolubles, the cell debris from the fermented broth. So the separation methods which we will discuss in the previous lectures will be the same here. And you know that in the downstream processing, it is a part of the downstream processing. So there are four stages, you know very well: the removal of the insolubles, product isolation, product purification, and product polishing. Yes. So removal of insolubles or the cells. Insolubles means the cell debris and the cells. So this is the first steps, and involves the capture of the product as a solute in a particulate free liquid. For example, the separation of cells and cell debris or the other particle matter from the fermentation broth. Okay, so the broth may contain the antibiotics or other hormones or other proteins you want to isolate. So the typical operations to achieve this are the: you can use the filtration. Okay, you can use various uh, size or various cutoff filter papers, filter membranes to isolate the particulate material. Okay, simply you can do the centrifugation. You know very well about the centrifugation. The heavier particles settle down, and you can isolate the solution or solvent part from the upper side. Then you can use the sedimentation, because cell debris or cell have some density, and they uh, come into the bottom side after a few time. Okay, then precipitation you can use few chemicals which precipitate out the molecules or the insoluble particles. Then flocculation, the electro precipitation, and the gravity settling are the other methods you can use for the removal of the cells and the cell debris and the other insolubles in the material. Okay, so this is the bioseparation process. You know very well the cells you are separating will be animal cell, plant cell, microbial cell, other cells. Okay, so you are isolating, but you should keep in mind that by isolating or the insolubles, your uh, product or your protein hormone of interest should be activate, should not be destroyed, should not be deactivated. Okay, if you are using the process, and in the process the temperature is raised, so you should keep in mind that the raising of temperature should not affect your product. Okay, because all the products are known for their activity, so you should keep in mind that thing. So the purification of byproducts or bioseparation process typically involves the long sequence of steps. Means according to your product or according to your activity, which activity you want and which product you want, and at which concentration you want to isolate your product, you have to choose various steps of the separation processes. Okay, so each step requires the use of one or more unit operations, such as the filtration, extraction, chromatography, drying. Okay, so various unit operations can be used. and the which operations will be used, it will depend on the product. Then which type of product are you isolating? Okay, so the basic principal unit operations are two: filtration and the chromatography. So we have already discussed, but because it is in your another topic, so we will discuss it uh, here with wide information. Okay, so filtration is a simple way to isolate the insolubles. So there are various types of the filter membranes, filter papers, and various cutoff size. Cutoff size means a definite size is defined below and above that. Above the specified size of the membrane, the particles will be uh, taken out from the membranes. Okay, so in the filtration, the insolubles will be out as a form of the filter cake. So the insolubles will be continue to deposit on the filter membrane, and they will form a cake like structure, known as the filter cake. Okay, so the solid particles deposit on the filter form a layer which is known as the filter cake, and all the solid particles from the free are stored by the cake, and the cake grows at the rate of which particles are brought to its surface. Means uh, the higher the insolubles in the solution in the broth, the cake size will be higher. Okay, so all of the fluid goes through the cake and filter medium. So next is the chromatography. So you know very well about the chromatography. Chromo means color, and graphy matlab representation of the as a form of a graph. So in the chromatographic techniques, on the basis of the color, it is the compounds are isolated, but it is only a word meaning. So it is a basically it is a separation technique. Okay, so here you use two phases. One is the mobile phase, one is the stationary phase. So mobile phase is moving phase, like a solvent. So it will move from a stationary phase. Okay, so while moving from the stationary phase, there is an interaction between the mobile phase and a stationary phase. And at this time point of interaction, your product is attached to the specific products and will be isolated further. Okay, so the ion exchange chromatography here, uses charge stationary phase on the separate charge compounds. Okay, so here the stationary phase will be charged, and the opposite charge which are present on your compound you want to isolate will be attached here. Okay, so the example is the FPLC. Okay. So next is the affinity chromatography. Affinity chromatography is, I think it is a very good chromatography technique, and this is used for specifically for the isolation of the antibodies. Okay, so affinity chromatography separate the protein of interest on the basis of a reversible interaction between it and its antibody coupled to the chromatographic bed. So what is the reversibility interaction means? First, when the mobile phase and stationary phase interact, the antibodies will be attached to the stationary phase. Okay, so this is the first phase, and means right phase. What is the reversible phase? After the antibody is attached to the stationary phase, you will change the conditions. Okay, for example, you will use a solvent that changes the pH. If the pH is changed, the antibody which are attached to the stationary phase will be detached and will be collected out. So that's why it is a reversible interaction. Okay, first the antibodies are attached to the stationary phase, and second they are detached to isolate. Okay, so this is very high, so very selective process, and get a high resolution means the antibodies which are isolated will be purified, more purified than the other techniques. So it is a very good technique, and it is I told that it is used for making the antibodies and isolation of the antibodies. So next is the size exclusion chromatography. As name suggests, the separation is based on the size. So if the cell size is higher, it will be separated out in the last. So it is also known as the gel permeation or filtration chromatography, because here you use a specific gel which have a specific pore size. Okay, gel have a pore size. So according to pore size, the lesser molecules or lesser cells will move fast, and you will collect them fast earlier, and the cells or the molecules which have the higher sizes or the larger sizes will be separated out at last or at the later phases. So but it have the low resolution, and a polishing is needed. So next is the liquid chromatography. The best example of liquid chromatography is the HPLC. Okay, so HPLC is a modified version of the liquid chromatography. What is liquid chromatography? Here mobile phase is a liquid and carried out either in a column or a plane. So here a column is used, and the mobile phase is moved from the column. And in the HPLC, high what is the HPLC? Is the high pressure liquid chromatography. So here you use a pump which creates a high pressure, and on the influence of the pressure, the compounds are separated out. So the sample is forced through a column that is packed with the irregular or spherically shaped particles, or a porous monolithic layer station faced by a liquid at a high pressure. So this is the HPLC technique. So when you separating the cells or the insolubles from the broth, you first of all you draw a flow chart or flow diagram, that what you are going to do. So that will create a clear image of the processes. Okay, so the development of a flow sheet for a recovery and purification of a biological product is a creative process. So the experienced engineers rely heavily on the certain rules of thumb or heuristic for putting together a skeleton of a recovery of purification processes. A few such heuristics include the removal of most plentiful impurities first. Means the impurities which are uh, majority, which are present in the majority, will be removed first. Okay, and the impurities which are easier to remove will be removed first. Then make the most difficult and expensive separation last. Okay, if a product is, if contamination is there, which the isolation of the contaminant, that contamination is expensive, so that step should be followed in last stage. Okay, so these are some points which should be kept in mind when you are isolating the cells from the broth or insolubles from the broth. So thank you, and uh, hope you are satisfied with this session. If you have any query, please write in the comment box. This session is powered by Digital Version 2, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.